So you ever notice how companies, brands, businesses that are winning, they always have ads running. And that's not luck. It's not because they're better. It's because they understand advertising. Advertising has been around since the beginning of human beings. And the reason it exists is because when you do it correctly, it works. It's not that you're just blowing money. If you look at people that have been advertising all the time, the reason they're advertising all the time, do you think it's because they're making more money or they're losing money? It's because they're making money, right? So in my company, we've been advertising for years. I haven't turned ads off in about 7 or 8 years. I've run them every single day straight. It's because I know how it works. And this is what I train other musicians how to do to sell their area of expertise for their programs. We do what we can organically first, and then when we take what we can organically and we reinvest it in ads. That's the biggest difference between people who stay stuck and people who scale. Are the ones who scale are fearless when it comes to this. So you do what you can organically, get a nice cash injection, and then run it right into the ads and look at the data objectively. So when I first started teaching online, I did everything organic. I was posting videos on my trombone channel. You can go back and see the history of all this. You can just look up all the trombonists, all the stuff that I've done in the past. And it's fine and it's cool. And you can start there. And you can get traction. You can get some students there. And then what happens is you want to reinvest that into paid traffic because that's how you have consistency and stability. And then it's no longer guessing. It's not by chance. You don't have to depend on an algorithm because you are in control of certain levers, right? There's your inputs become your outputs. So how many leads you bring in, there's a direct correlation to how many calls get booked from that, and then there's a direct correlation of how many enrollments you get. So there's really only a few stages you're dealing with here. First is a traffic stage. Are you getting traffic? Okay. Are you getting the right people? Are you getting a good cost for your dollar? Then are you taking that traffic and are you able to motivate them to apply? Okay. So if they're not, you need to work on your messaging. Okay. Now that you get them to apply, cool. Now that you got them to apply, are you able to enroll them? Right. So there's like really three stages: a traffic stage, getting the traffic to apply stage, and then getting the applications to enroll stage. So there's really only three stages that we keep optimizing. And this is how I've scaled my company. Like this is how we've reached multiple seven figures. This is how I'm helping other musicians hit the numbers they never thought was possible, is because we just look at each one of those stages and we just look at the math. So let me just show you what I mean, because when you see the numbers, this will start to click. So let's say you're running ads. You made a first sale organically. You got $5,000 because that's the least I'll allow any of my students to charge. $5,000 per year per student for their program. Okay. And it costs you $5 a lead. A lead is anyone that says they're interested. They raise their hand. They give you their email or their phone number in exchange for some information that you're offering them. So every time someone gives you their info, name, email, or whatever, let's say it's $5 per lead. Now, out of those leads, let's say 15% of them apply for your program. So if you get 100 leads, that's going to be 15 applications. And then out of those 15 applications, let's say you enroll 25% at least, okay? So that's about 4 new students, okay? So now your program is $5,000. Your enrollments, you got 4 enrollments of $5,000 each. That's $20,000 in revenue you just got from that initial investment. Pretty good, right? So let's go back to what you spent. $100 leads at $5 each. That's $500 in ad spend. You spent $500 to make $20,000. That's a 40x return on ad spend. Now that's exceptional. That's amazing. Now even if you're just a fraction of that, would you still be profitable? Yeah. Okay, that's what's so cool about these premium offers is the margins are higher than people selling low ticket. So when you actually look at it like that, it's not as risky as you may have thought. It's just the math. And you're not gambling. You're just reinvesting into something predictable, because as long as you have the lead, you can keep marketing to these leads, changing the messaging, optimizing the messaging. And that's a game changer most educators never realize. They're what we call by chance marketing. That's where they just hope by chance they get students, or like maybe word of mouth, or they put flyers out somewhere, okay? See, most musicians are scared of ads because they think it's throwing money into a black hole. When you know your numbers, your lead to application rate, your application to enrollment rate, your cost per lead, your cost per booked application, you're fully in control, because then you know what you're willing to spend because you know how it converts. And you just keep optimizing those stages. So if you put 500 in, you get 20,000 back, and those numbers ever slip, you know what you can optimize. And that's what scaling actually is. It's not working harder. It's not posting more. It's knowing your numbers through tracking your numbers. If you're not on top of your numbers will be on top of you. So I always tell people, you start organic first. I call it phase 1. You prove your offers cool. I call it stage 1, sorry, stage 1. You get your first few students, you get results, then you take what you earned from that and you launch it into paid traffic. You track your numbers. We start small, we start knowing how it's optimizing, then we find the KPI, and once it's working, you can scale as far as you want. And that's how the biggest brands do it. They're not guessing, they're tracking, tweaking, and reinvesting, and you just keep doing it on a cycle. Okay? So if you're a music educator and you want to scale and stop thinking small, referrals are cool. Just don't only rely on word of mouth. And the businesses that win, they know how to advertise. And when you understand how to advertise, you can finally take what you love doing, teaching music, and turn it into something that gives you freedom and the impact and has that consistency. Okay? So if you want to learn exactly how to set this up, there's 2 ways that I can help you. First way, you can book a free call with our team, and I'll put a link there and we can show you how to get this together if you're interested. The second way is I have a free class that shows you where to find those first organic students that you can reinvest in the ads. And I'll put a link up here in the description. I'm interested in hearing from you guys. So if you find this valuable at all, leave a little comment, subscribe if you haven't, because then that way you get notified when I put more videos up here. And just let me know you're here, because that, you know how it is. It motivates you. When I know there's a community here and I see you guys talking, it motivates me to keep putting content up there, because I'm on a mission to transform the lives of as many musicians as possible in this time period. That's my company's motto, is to help musicians thrive more financially than any other resource that has existed in history. And the way that we know how to do it now are these premium online group coaching programs. And we have a really good sense of how to make this work. We have a lot of different clients we've helped, and we know what's going on from niche to niche in the music education space and what works and doesn't work. So if you'd like some further insights, you can take a look at what you're doing. We can see if we can help you. All right, it's Paul the Trombonist. I appreciate you guys. Signing off here.